It's a privilege and an honor to present to you our first speaker, Deacon Jacob Hawkins.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated. May the peace of Yahweh be with each and every one of you. I wanted to mention about conduct. Some things we get a little lax on or forgetful. And so I wanted to just remind us about some of these things. And the one I would like to talk about is the separation between men and women. There's a separation, and it's not proper for us, for the men to go talking to the women, holding conversations, and vice versa, the women talking to the men. And with technology today, we have the internet. So we have to be very cautious of what we do on the internet. Many people have fallen away because of men talking to women and women talking to men on the internet. So we have to be very cautious of this, because through these relationships is how Solomon fell. And if you turn over to 2 Corinthians in chapter 6, and there's going to be people, at work, on the internet, they're going to be asking questions, interested about the House of Yahweh, and there's guidelines on how to handle those situations. If someone is interested, all you have to tell them is the phone number or the website. That's the work that's going on the internet. It's not our job to try to convert people. That's pastor's job. He's the one doing the converting. He's the one teaching. But we can spread the message. Just like the example of Nora. She went in and told people about Yeshua, but she didn't try to convert them. She told them where to go. And that's the example for us. We tell them where to go, and they come to the one sent, and he teaches them. But as for friendships of the world, in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, says, "Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what fellowship does light have with darkness? And what harmony?" I want you to notice that word there, harmony. And the side note there, agreement in feelings, actions, ideas, interests, etc. Peaceable or friendly relationships. Those friendly relationships can get us in trouble. So going back to the scripture there in verse 15, and what harmony can there be between Yeshua, you see Messiah, and Baal, or Satan? What harmony can there be there? What harmony can there be between House of Yahweh members and people of the world? The followaways. Unbelievers in general. Or what share does a believer have with an infidel? Now, the infidel is speaking more towards the followaways. Because if you notice, it says the untrustworthy, not faithful. They didn't stick with the faith. Not true and nor loyal. They didn't stick with the House of Yahweh and the teachings. And what agreement does the House of Yahweh have with God's? For we are the house of the living Father. As Yahweh has said, I dwell in them and walk among them. I will be their father, and they will be my people. So notice what he says here. Come out from among them and be separate. Don't have these sinful relationships or things that can lead to sin, to pull us into God worship. Come out from among them. Now, there is, through the world, we have dealings with people that, men have dealings with women, women have dealings with men. But there's guidelines. It's not to have conversations. It's stick to the work. Get what you have to do done and leave it at that. Again, if they have interest, tell them the phone number, give them the website. That's as far as it needs to go. Now, it doesn't mean that we should, you're a man, I can't talk to you. Or you're a woman, I can't talk to you. But there's guidelines. They don't understand at this time. And turn over to Jacob chapter 4. And more of the warning about these relationships, friendships of the world. It says, "You adulterers and adulteresses, do you not know that the friendship of the world is an enemy of Yahweh?" That's how dangerous it can be on getting on internet and talking to people at work and in Walmart, wherever you're at. That's how dangerous it can be. You can actually become an enemy of Yahweh. And also in 1 Kings, I want to show the example, the warning to us. This example as a warning to us about these things. In 1 Kings chapter 11. It says, "However, King Solomon loved many other foreign women besides the daughter of Pharaoh," and it names where they're all from. In verse 2 it says, "From the very nations Yahweh commanded the children of Israel, you must not marry them, nor they must not marry you." And notice the warning, "because they will turn your heart away from Yahweh to serve their gods." There was a warning for us, and it's so that we can remain strong, so we can continue in building our faith. The time that we spend, in these conversations, we should be studying, building our faith, building stronger, so that when the time comes, we can go and teach. But at this time, it's for our pastor to teach, because he's the one chosen and sent by Yahweh. At this time, may Yahweh bless your understanding. At this time,